Om. 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 Om Brahmanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gaganasadrisham Tattvamasyadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। ॐ श्री कृष्ण परमात्मने नमः। अथ श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता दशमोऽध्यायः विभूतियोगः। श्रीभगवानुवाच अनन्तश्चास्मि नागानां वरुणो यादसामहं पितॄणामर्यमा चास्मि यमः संयमतामहं प्रह्लादश्चास्मि दैत्यानां कालः कलयतामहं मृगाणां च मृगेन्द्रोऽहं वैनतेयश्च पक्षिणां पवनः पवतामस्मि रामः शस्त्रभृतामहं झषाणां मकरश्चास्मि स्रोतसामस्मि जाह्नवी सर्गाणामादिरन्तश्च मध्यं चैवाहमर्जुन अध्यात्मविद्या विद्यानां वादप्रवदतामहम् अक्षराणामकारोऽस्मि द्वन्द्वः सामासिकस्य च अहमेवाक्षयः कालः धाताहं विश्वतो मुखः मृत्युः सर्वहरश्चाहम् उद्भवश्च भविष्यताम् कीर्तिश्रीर्वाक्यनारीणां स्मृतिर्मेधा धृतिक्षमा बृहत्साम तथा साम्नां गायत्री छन्दसामहं मासानां मार्गशीर्षोऽहं ऋतूनां कुसुमाकरः द्यूतं चलयतामस्मि तेजस्तेजस्विनामहं जयोऽस्मि व्यवसायोऽस्मि सत्वं सत्त्ववतामहं वृष्णीनां वासुदेवोऽस्मि पाण्डवानां धनञ्जयः मुनीनामप्यहं व्यासः कवीनामुशना कविः दण्डो दमयतामस्मि नीतिरस्मि जिगीषताम् मौनं चैवास्मि गुह्यानां ज्ञानं ज्ञानवतामहम् यच्चापि सर्वभूतानां बीजं तदहमर्जुन न तदस्ति विना यस्य यन्मया भू न तदस्ति विना यत्स्यान् मया भूतं चराचरं नान्तोऽस्ति मम दिव्यानां विभूतीनां परन्तप एष तुद्देशतः प्रोक्तः विभूतेर्विस्तरो मया यद्यद् विभूतिमत्सत्त्वं श्रीमदूर्जितमेव वा तत्तदेवावगच्छत्वं मम तेजोंश संभवम् अथवा बहुनैतेन किं ज्ञातेन तवार्जुन पृष्ठभ्याहमिदं कृत्स्नम् एकांशेन स्थितो जगत् ॐ तत्सत् इति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे विभूतियोगो नाम दशमोऽध्यायः अथ एकादशोऽध्यायः विश्वरूपसन्दर्शनयोगः अर्जुन उवाच मदनुग्रहाय परमं गुह्यमध्यात्मसङ्गितं यत्त्वयोक्तं वचस्तेन मोहोऽयं विगतो मम जय गुरुदेव
Ramanaji, verse 36, right? I will just read verse 36, which we did yesterday. Dhyutam dalayasmi tejas jayosmi vyavasayosmi sattvam sattvatamaham. I am the game of dice among the things that deceive. Of the brilliant, I am the brilliance. I am the victory of the victorious. I am the clarity in thinking of those who have that clarity, of those whose nature is predominantly sattva. I am that sattva, contemplative disposition. Chala is anything. Chala. Chala is anything that has an element of deception. Among those things that make you incur loss, I am the game of dice. Dharmaputra lost everything in a game of dice. The Veda prohibits playing with dice. It says, Akshaihi ma divya. Do not play with dice. I am that brilliance of people who have brilliance in any field of knowledge, whatever brilliance they enjoy. It does not belong to them, but it is tapped from the original source, Atma, which is limitless in terms of power and knowledge. Everything you have tapped is from that source. Sat Chit Ananda Atma, being Ishvara, has all the potential. In a given upadhi, there cannot be infinite brilliance because we are talking in terms of manifestations, not Gita. In essential nature, one is not separate from Ishvara because the self is limitless. That is different thing together. But in the manifest form, in the Antakarana, there can only be limited brilliance, tejas. Therefore, at any time in any Antakarana, the brilliance is the manifestation of Ishvara. Therefore, the Lord says of the brilliant, I am the brilliance. I am the victory of the victorious, the success of the successful. In people who have the clear understanding, I am that clarity of understanding. Then, of those in whom sattva is predominant, that sattva I am. Everyone is a composite of sattva, rajas, and tamas. Sattva accounts for contemplativeness, inquiry, knowledge, and happiness. Rajas for ambition, energy, and so on. Tamas for dullness. If sattva is predominant in a person, he will not feel I am sattvika. That is a manifestation of rajas. Rajas is also the Lord, but that is not a vibhuti as sattva is. The expression of sattva, his contemplative disposition, Bhagavan says, is myself. We are talking about dheya, an object of meditation. So we view Ishvara as a quality that we consider desirable, a virtue. Wherever there is such a thing, it is Ishvara's glory alone. This is appreciated and meditated upon. Vrishninam vasudevosmi pandavam dhananjayah muninamaham vyasah vinamushna vinamushana kavihi.
Kavinamushana kavihi.
Kavinamushana kavihi. Vrishninam among Yadavas, these internet. Vrishninam among the Yadavas, Vasudeva asmi. I am Vasudeva Krishna. Pandavanam among Pandavas, Dhananjaya. I am Arjuna. Muninam api. And among the seers, Aham Vyasah. I am Vyasa. Kavina among the sages, Ushana Kavihi, the preceptor Ushana. Vrishninam Vasudevah Asmi, Pandavanam Dhananjayah, Muninam api Aham Vyasah, Kavinam Ushana Kavihi. Among the Yadavas, I am Vasudeva Krishna. Among the Pandavas, Dhananjaya, Arjuna, and among the seers, I am Vyasa. Among the sages, the preceptor, Ushana. Bhagavan has been speaking of himself as Ishvara, the one who is everything. Now he talks of himself as an avatara. With a physical body, he is called Vasudeva, son of Vasudeva. Among the people belonging to the Vrishnikula, the Yadavas, Aham Vasudeva. I am Vasudeva. Here he is speaking of himself as Vasudeva with a Karya Karana Sanghata. not as Parameshwara. The physical body mind sense complex, which was recognized among the Yadavas as Krishna, is who I am. Because of the great excellence that was there in terms of knowledge, power, etc., as we see in the life of Krishna in Bhagavata and Mahabharata, we know that he was an exalted being. That excellence in the Karya Karana Sangata makes him stand out among the Yadavas. So, as a Raguna, he is Vasudeva. Among the Pandavas, I am Dhananjaya, the one who won many kingdoms and great wealth. Arjuna was considered the most accomplished among the brothers in archery, logistics, etc. That means that Krishna is saying, I am you, the prowess and versatility that you have are manifestations of Ishvara's glory, my glory. It was to Arjuna that the Lord chose to teach the Gita. He could have chosen any of the others, but he found Arjuna to be the most qualified. And again, it was only Arjuna who asked for it also. Among the scholars and seers, people who have the capacity to think and retain, Muninam, I am Vedavyasa. It was he who wrote the Mahabharata, authored the 18 Puranas, and edited the 4 Vedas. Originally, there were many branches of the Vedas, all preserved by oral tradition. Vyasa collected and compiled the mantras into 4 different groups, so they could be preserved. Each family was to retain one Veda, and there was a rule that one was supposed to study one Veda and hand it over to the next generation. In dividing them up, Vyasa made it easy so that one Veda could be studied in 12 years. He is called Veda Vyasa, the compiler of the Vedas. Vedaha Vyasyate Anena iti Veda Vyasaha. So beautiful it is. I will read once again about Veda Vyasa. Among scholars and seers, people who have the capacity to think and retain, Muninam, I am Veda Vyasa. It was he who wrote the Mahabharata, authored the 18 Puranas, and edited the 4 Vedas. Originally, there were many branches of the Vedas, all preserved by oral tradition. Vyasa collected and compiled the mantras into 4 different groups, so they could be preserved. Each family was to retain one Veda, and there was a rule that one was supposed to study one Veda and hand it over to the next generation. In dividing them up, Vyasa made it easy so that one Veda could be studied in 12 years. He is called Veda Vyasa, the compiler of the Vedas. Vedaha Vyasyate Anena iti Veda Vyasaha. He also wrote the Brahma Sutras, which deal with the subject matter of Vedanta Shastra analytically, tackling opposing views and thereby establishing the vision of Vedanta. Because of this work, Vyasa is called Sutrakara. Shankara is Bhashyakara. The tradition holds that Lord Shiva himself was Shankaracharya and Lord Narayana was Badarayana Vyasa. I hope I'm correct in my pronunciation. So Lord Shiva was Shankaracharya, Bhasyakara, and Lord Narayana was Badarayana Vyasa, sage Vyasa. We salute both of them since they are the links in this tradition. Thus, Vyasa occupies the most exalted place among the sages. Without him, we would not have retained anything. He is a very important person in the Vedic tradition. Kavi means the one who is able to see all three periods of time, past, present, and future. Among such people who are capable of seeing things beyond the human, I am Krishna, Shukracharya. He was the guru of all the asuras. It was Ushana that they would consult. Ushana. They would not listen to him, however, so they always ended up in trouble. Ushana was also famous for his work on ethics, Shukra Niti. Okay, so new knowledge I did not know. So, among the Kavi, he is Ushana Shukracharya, guru of all asuras. If to repeat
Could you
any
please
word?
read that passage again about Shukracharya, please?
Yeah. Kavi means the one who is able to see all three periods of time, past, present, and future. Among such people who are capable of seeing things beyond the human intellect, I am Ushna Shukracharya. He was the guru of all the asuras. It was Ushna that they would consult. They would not listen to him, however, so they always ended up in trouble. Ushna was also famous for his work on ethics, Shukra Niti. He was very powerful guru of asuras. We know the story of Bali Raja, right? And his Shukracharya told him not to donate to the
Not to agree to the land donation agreement.
Yes. And that's why he
What
went into the Kamandala also, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was his role when Samudra Manthan happened? That time also he played some role, Shukracharya. And that's how I think this Ketu and Rahu Ketu, they got the Amrit, no? I mean, one person got the Amrit, but though he was killed, but because he had Amrit, he became the snake's head and the snake's tail. So there also Shukracharya told something to the Asuras. I'm not sure what he told. Because he noticed Mohini.
Yeah,
sorry.
He did not agree for the Samudra Manthan. He said, you do not participate in this Samudra Manthan because God needs energy to take out that Amrit. So they were participating they were helping out in that procedure. So he said, you do not take part because you will perish. And like in what all came out of the Samudra Manthan, all the good things went to the Devatas. And that Mohini, which Mohini was Narayana's, like he in a deceptive role. She took the he was in that form, Mohini. That was how that Rahu was created. So basically, the whole of the Manthan procedure was in favor of the gods, Suras.
Yes. So just before the Amrit was being served to the Devas and Asuras, they were told, Asuras, all of them were told to go have a bath. So they had a bath and came. By then, Mohini had already started serving the Amrit to the Devas. So at that time, Shukracharya told something. I can't remember what it is. And that's how this one of the Asuras goes and sits between the sun and the moon. And he also gets served, and immediately Vishnu knows. So he cuts off the head, but then since the Amrut had gone beyond the throat, he had swallowed it. So the head and the tail. So I'm not sure who is that Asura. I don't remember the name of that Asura who went and sat between sun and the moon, Chandra and Surya. And that's how this story about the eclipse and all is associated with Rahu Ketu. I don't know where to go back and read all this. This is all was I heard when I was growing up.
There was an episode of Garuda which I watched. In that, this was there, like the whole of Samudra Manthan and all these. It's not now in the. It was a whole of the series, in all that how these different things came out and how these were, and how Garud was a helper in. He pushed a mountain from the particular Vindhyachal mountain. He pushed with the help of Narayana, and then and that Vindhyachal he pushed it into the ocean, and below that Vindhyachal was the Narayana in the form of tortoise. So he became that. That you call it in Hindi the dhurri, on which a particular thing rotates. So it was how that tortoise was Narayana, and that the Vindhyachal Parvat was on top of it, and the Vasuki, he was the snake round. He was Shiv Priya Vasuki. So he became the rope, and one side was the Asura and one side was the Suras. So in whole this procedure, the things which came out, all good things went to Suras. I don't remember there was an episode of Mohini also, but now I don't remember who was the person who name of that person, but yes, he was here. The Rahu was created. But I remember that it was Rahu. What I saw, his name was Rahu only, Rahu and Ketu. But in this Mohini episode, the Rahu was created because he took that sip of. He just took a sip of it, and he got that Amrita. He became Amar for. Yeah.
Here Bhagavan is so compassionate that even in Asuras, he is giving that representation as Shukracharya. I am Ushna Shukracharya. Shukracharya, the guru of all asuras. And he is there to guide them, but they do not listen. So beautiful. Here it is as Bhashyakara, Shankara, and as a
Sutrakara
Gyan,
Narayana.
yeah, and the Sutrakara Narayana. And the role of him is also so important that he had compiled the whole thing. So very well it is, Bhagwan is saying that he is Yadavas among Vasudeva, he is Vasudeva among the Yadavas, he is Arjuna among the Pandavas. Here also it is very nice to contemplate why only Arjuna was chosen, not any other Pandava. It is so nice because he was Anasuya. He never thought ill of anybody. And among the Kavi, he is Ushna, Shukracharya.
So basically, we have to be like work up so that we get in the shoes of Arjuna. Then only we will receive this knowledge properly.
Ultimate knowledge, yeah. Basically, it's all about the Antakarana only. Shuddha Antakarana only paves the way to the ultimate reality.
And also Shukracharya wrote the ethics. I never knew that. Famous for his work on ethics. Shukraniti. So Asuras never listened to anything.
Yeah. He was
in spite
always
of having such a guru.
That is why they were Asura. They didn't have that mind, deceptive mind.
Vivek buddhi nahi.
Yeah. After loss also, they came with their faces. Then he said, I will not help you. Then they said, no, we are all very sorry. Now we will listen to you. Because in the Manthan, the Lakshmi also, this whole Manthan was done so that the Lakshmi who was in the base of the ocean, so that she may be released. It was only through the Samudra Manthan that Lakshmi would be released from that. So that is why Devtas wanted this Manthan. The motive behind was that what it was depicted in that series, that Lakshmi was to be taken out. So all Manthan had to be done. But beside Lakshmi, various other things came out. And in the end, when Lakshmi came, then it was that the marriage is going to happen again between the Narayana and Lakshmi. And then they were not invited in the marriage, and they were planning strategies so that we can again defeat the Suras. So that time when this Mohini episode came, then Shukracharya became very angry. Why you did not listen to me? So they pledged that we'll again start and we'll defeat definitely the Suras. So I think this keeps on happening. Every time they plan, their plan are failed. Then again they start, but they could never win the Devtas. It is just like that, evil never wins. So this is the whole story. It is, I think, Bhagavad, this Bhagavad Katha, maybe, and enclosing all these stories about there's a whole chapter of Garud, what Nana ji was explaining once, that there's a whole chapter about Garud. He was telling in that it has all these and how that Amrit came out and then it was taken to Indralok and again there was fight. It's a very long story actually. Yeah, you continue, Bela ji.
Yeah, so it is always the fight between negative and positives. Yeah. Mhm. So we'll go to the next verse. Dando damayatam asmi nitirasmi jigishatam maunam chaivasmi guhyanam jnanam jnanavatamaham. Damayatam, of people who enforce discipline. Dandah asmi, I am the discipline. Jigishatam, of those who want victory, success. Nitihi asmi, I am justice. Maunam cha eva asmi, and I am silence. Guhyanam, among the secrets. Jnanavatam, of those who have the knowledge. Aham jnanam, I am that knowledge. Damayatam dandah asmi, jigishatam nitihi asmi, maunam cha eva asmi, guhyanam, jnanavatam, aham jnanam. I am the discipline of those who enforce discipline. I am justice of those who want success. And I am silence among the secrets. Of those who have knowledge, I am that knowledge. I repeat, I am the discipline of those who enforce discipline. I am justice of those who want success. And I am silence among the secrets. Of those who have knowledge, I am that knowledge. Damayatam, of those who enforce discipline, giving punishment to those who transgress. I am the discipline. If you have self-discipline, Bhagavan says, I am that very discipline. If you lack self-discipline, it has to be imposed. That one who enforces discipline, I am. Jigishatam, of those who are desirous of victory and are working for it. I am the niti, the order. When you achieve victory, it must come within the framework of justice. Otherwise, it cannot be considered a victory. Success won at the cost of justice is not meaningful for a mature person because for him, the means is as important as the end. For a retarded person, only the end is important. Justice is not only very important in a victory, it is essential. Before Bhagavan said in the victorious, I am victory. Here he says, where there is success, I am the justice, the order which brings success. I think this is the very base because of which he was at the side of Pandavas. I repeat, Jigishatam, of those who are desirous of victory and are working for it. I am the niti, the order. When you achieve victory, it must come within the framework of justice. Otherwise, it cannot be considered a victory. Success won at the cost of justice is not meaningful for a mature person because for him, the means is as important as the end. For a morally retarded person, only the end is important. Justice is not only very important in a victory, it is essential. Before Bhagavan said, in the victorious, I am victory. Here he says, where there is success, I am the justice, the order which brings success. Among the secrets, I am Mauna, silence. Among all the devices employed to maintain secrecy, silence is the best. Any secret that you divulge will eventually come back to you and in another form. Silence is the only sure way of keeping a secret. So it is the best form of secrecy. I read once again, among the secrets, I am Mauna, silence. Among all the devices employed to maintain secrecy, silence is the best. Any secret that you divulge will eventually come back to you and in another form. Silence is the only sure way of keeping a secret. So it is the best form of secrecy. Of those who have self-knowledge, I am the Swarupa, the knowledge itself. Knowledge and Ishvara are not two different things, and I am the very form of that knowledge. So beautiful. यच्चापि सर्वभूतानां बीजं तदहमर्जुन न तदस्ति विना यत् स्यान् मया भूतं चराचरम् yat cha api bijam, and also that which is the cause, sarva bhutanam, of all beings and things, tat aham, that I am. Arjuna, na tat asti, there is not, bhutam char acharam, any mobile or immobile, sentient or insentient thing, yat syat, which can exist, maya vina, without me. Yat cha api bijam sarva bhutanam tat aham. Arjuna, na tat asti bhutam chara acharam yat syat maya vina. And Arjuna, I am also that which is the cause of all beings. Sorry. And Arjuna, I am also that which is the cause of all things. There is no mobile or immobile, sentient or insentient thing which can exist without me. Bija literally means seed, but is often used in the sense of the cause. Since a seed is the cause for the tree, by implication, it is used for cause in general. There are many causes and effects. Bhutanam madhye, among the various causes, I am the cause of all beings or all of all things. Bhutas can be taken as the elements. Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Apah, Prithvi, or as beings. That which is the seed of all these is, in other words, Jagat Karana. So, as we have seen in the previous chapter, he is the cause of all the causes. He is the substratum. Among all the causes, each is a cause only from the standpoint of its effect. From another standpoint, that cause itself becomes an effect for some other cause. So, what is the real cause? Bija? It should be an uncaused cause. Prakriti can be said to be Sarva Bhutanam Bijam because it has no cause. But because Prakriti has no existence independent of Atma, Ishvara is the ultimate cause of everything. Therefore, he says, Sarva Bhutanam Bijam Prakritihi Aham Asmi. I am the material cause for everything. Now, to sum up the topic of Bhagavad Vibhuti, the glory of Bhagavan, he says, without me, there would not be any Bhuta, neither Chara, those that move, nor Achara, those that do not move at all. Na tat asti bhutam characharam yat syat maya vina. The whole creation is made up of what moves and what does not. This is one way of looking at it. In another way, sentient is chara and insentient achara. If achara means merely immobile, it will include a sentient tree also. Whichever way it is taken, without me, there are no such things that could exist. That means if I am not there, there is no object at all. So he is that Parinami Upadana Karana and Vivati Upadana Karana. I will just read again. Among all the causes, each is a cause only from the standpoint of its effect. From another standpoint, that itself becomes an effect for some other cause. There is too much making of voice. Among all the causes, each is a cause only from the standpoint of its effect. From another standpoint, that cause itself becomes an effect for some other cause. So, what is the real cause? Bija? It should be an uncaused cause. Prakriti can be said to be Sarva Bhutanam Bija because it has no cause, but because Prakriti has no existence independent of Atma. Ishvara is the ultimate cause of everything. Therefore, he says, Sarva Bhutanam Bijam Prakritihi Aham Asmi. I am the material cause for everything. Now, to sum up the topic of Bhagavad Vibhuti, the glory of Bhagavan, he says, without me, there would not be any Bhuta, neither Chara, those that move, nor Achara, those that do not move at all. Na tat asti bhutam characharam yat syat maya vina. The whole creation is made up of what moves and what does not. This is one way of looking at it. In another way, sentient is chara and insentient achara. If achara means merely immobile, it will include a sentient tree also. Whichever way it is taken, without me, there are no such things that could exist. That means if I'm not there, there is no object at all. So for Swarupa and Swabhava, for both, he is the cause. If Parameshwara is Sat, the efficient and material cause, which object is away from the material cause? Without me, the Sat, if there is an object, it will be Niratmaka or Shunya. It will have no existence at all. Wherever there is an existent object, that object is non-separate from the Karana, which is existence. Every product entirely depends on the cause, and the final cause is Ishvara. So that easiness is He. I read once again. If Ishvara is Sat, the efficient and material cause which object is from. Sorry, if Parmeshwara is Sat, the efficient and material cause, which object is away from that material cause? Without me, the Sat, if there is an object, it will be Niratmaka or Shunya. It will have no existence at all. Wherever there is an existent object, that object is non-separate from the karna, which is existence. Every product entirely depends on the cause, and the final cause is Ishvara. Bhagwan has gone on listing his glories and now comes to the point where he has to say that he cannot continue because the list is endless. Nantosti mama divyanam vibhutinam parantapa esha tuddeshatah prokto vibhuter vistaro maya. Parantapa, O scorcher of enemies, Arjuna, mama divyanam vibhutinam, to my extraordinary glories, na antah asti, there is no end, to, but eshah vibhutehe vistaraha, this detailed narration of my glories, maya, by me, uddeshatah, taking into account a few important ones, proktaha, was told. Parantapa mama divyanam vibhutinam na antah asti. Tu eshah vibhutehe vistaraha maya uddeshatah proktaha. There is no end to my extraordinary glories, Arjuna, but this detailed narration was told by me, taking into account a few important ones. Krishna addressed Arjuna here as Parantapa, the one who is always victorious against the opponents. O Arjuna, the glories not easily seen in the world, the vibhutis, which are divyas, my brilliant manifestations, have no end. Mama divyanam vibhutinam na antah asti. Since there is no end to them at all, I have to end it. Therefore, I am ending it here. What has been related here is a brief account of the vast extent of my glories. The full particulars can never be given because the list is endless. I could only tell a few things. So, why did he start? Because the intention was to make one understand Bhagavad Vibhuti, not to complete the list of Vibhutis. I want you to understand that wherever there is any brilliance, that indeed is mine. I read once again, there is a breaking of voice. If that is so, why did he start? Because intention was to make one understand Bhagavad Vibhuti, not complete the list of Vibhutis. I want you to understand that wherever there is any brilliance, that indeed is mine. If you ask me why I said this, it is purely to establish this general rule which is told in the next verse. Any glory belongs to Bhagavan. Yadyad vibhutimat tattvam Srimadurjitameva va. Srimadurjitameva va. tattadevavagachatvam mama tejonsha sambhavam. Yat yat, whatever, vibhuti mata sattvam, existent thing that has glory, Shrimat, that which has any form of wealth, value, Urjitam eva va, that which is indeed distinguished, mighty, Tat tat eva, every one of that, Mama tejonsha sambhavam, born of a fraction of my glory, Avagachatvam, may you know, Yatyat vibhuti mata sattvam, Shrimat urjit eva va, tat tat eva mama tejonsha sambhavam, avagachatvam. Whatever existent thing there is, glory, which is endowed with any form of wealth, or that which is distinguished or mighty, every one of that, may you know, is born of a fraction of my glory. I repeat, whatever existent thing there is which has glory, which is endowed with any form of wealth, or that which is distinguished or mighty, every one of that, may you know, is born of a fraction of my glory. Any existent thing in this world that has some glory, whether in terms of knowledge, power, beauty, some brilliance, skill, or any fame, that Bhagavan says is Shrimad. Shri can be attraction or beauty. Kanti, it can also be justice. Niti or fame, Kirti. Wealth, Dhana. Food, Dhanya. Children, Santana. Domestic happiness, Griha. Any sense of well-being, Saubhagya. A boon, Vara. Or knowledge, Vidya. These are the different forms of Lakshmi known as Shri. Shrimad is that which has Shri. It covers everything. In fact, all glories are covered by the Shrimad. That Shrimad is Bhagavan. So beautiful. I'm going to read it again. Any existent thing in this world that has some glory, whether in terms of knowledge, power, beauty, some brilliance, skill, or any fame that Bhagavan says is Shrimad. Shri can be attraction or beauty, Kanti, so that Shri can be attraction or beauty, Kanti. It can also be justice, Niti, or fame, Kirti, wealth, Dhana, food, Dhanya, children, Santana, domestic happiness, Griha, any sense of well-being, Saubhagya, a boon, Vara, or knowledge, Vidya.
It represents the Ashtalakshmi, the all this Dhanalakshmi, Saubhagya Lakshmi, Dhanya Lakshmi, Santana
Yes,
Lakshmi.
Ashtalakshmi we have, right?
Yeah, yeah, Vijaya Lakshmi, Vidya Lakshmi. You know, the justice is Preeti. Justice.
Niti, yeah.
Neeti, yeah. Kanti is beauty, right?
Yeah,
It's in
beauty.
Tamil for that. Yeah. I don't know that. How many of that is there? 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Actually, it's 10. I think that.
Yeah.
I'm asking. I don't know,
So
the
the
Kanti and Nishi is part of different, I think. I remember the other ones. Anyway, I thought I.
So it is such so beautiful that we have a prefix of Shri before every male person, and
Yeah,
Shrimati for a lady. So when
maybe,
we
yeah.
say Shri, it has such
Mhm.
a beautiful implication. And
Yeah, it
Shrimad
includes
means
everything, right?
Shrimad Bhagavad Gita.
Mhm.
Shrimad is Bhagavan. It covers
Yeah,
all
Srimad Bhagavad Gita,
word.
that's a, yeah.
Shrimad is that which has Shri. Yeah. Go ahead, Bela.
Yeah. So beautiful, all the interpretation, very nice. Anything powerful, distinguished, arrest is Uditam. I repeat, there is a breaking of voice.
Shall I continue from here?
Yeah, please, Ramaraji, please.
Anything powerful, distinguished, and arresting is Urjitam. Avagacha. May you understand that each one of them, tat tat eva, arises from only a part of my Tejas. Tejas here means splendor, the Bhaga in Bhagavan. Swamiji is kind enough, he's given us the Bhagavan. Yeah, he says, see, refer to the definition of the word Bhagavan, page 24, volume 1. That is in the introduction to the Gita, right? So,
Yeah, but we already gave you all the 6 characters here.
Yeah.
Old, yeah. Yeah, it's in the introduction. I think page 24, that's right. Yeah, I remember making that.
24. 1 second, I'm just sharing screen so that it is better. 1 second. Yeah. So anything, right. So Bhagavan is sixfold, belonging to Ishvara, as we have seen before. Shri, absolute wealth. Aishwarya, absolute overlordship. Yashas, absolute fame. Vairagya, absolute dispassion. Jnana, infinite knowledge. And Virya, absolute power. The power of creation, destruction, and sustenance. So the sixfold Bhagavan, Bhaga in Bhagavan, is absolute wealth, that is Shri. Aishwarya is absolute overlordship. Yashas is absolute fame. Vairagya, absolute dispassion. Jnana, infinite knowledge. And Virya, absolute power. The power of creation, destruction, and sustenance. All glories are born of this sixfold sovereignty, Aishwarya, which attempts to classify the infinite affluence of Ishvara, briefly called Bhaga. So all the glories are born of this sixfold sovereignty, Aishwarya, which attempts to classify the infinite affluence of Ishvara, briefly called Bhaga. The creation of all these glories is from only a fraction of my Tejas, not Tejas directly, but from only Tejosma, a fraction of the infinite glory of Bhagavan. Only a part of that Ishvara is manifest in all these glories. In fact, the Jagat is nothing but an Amsha, a part of Ishvara. Even though the Lord is partless, because of Maya, it appears manifold, like partless space seems to be divided into pot space, room space, etc. And these are called part of the total space. The idea is that everything here is only projected by Maya. Mayaya kalpitam. Arjuna, please understand. Each one is born of only a fraction of my glory. There is no exception to this. There is no existence apart from Ishvara. All things that do not have glory are things that do not have glory, not Ishvara. Now, there is one problem when we say that anything that has any glory whatsoever is born of a fraction of Bhagavan's glory, meaning it is only one manifestation of Bhagavan, the total power of Ishvara. Then what about all other things? There are countless people who were born and gone, whose names are not remembered at all, except by the bereaved. There are millions of people in different generations and a lot of things in the world, animals and so on, whose names are not known to anybody, which are not recognized as having some special excellence. Do you say they are not born of your Tejas, your Bhaga? This we must understand well. These glories, which are a fraction of the sixfold absolute virtues, knowledge, wealth, supremacy, power, fame, and dispassion, are mentioned only for meditation on Ishvara in these particular forms as Aditya, etc. That is one meaning. Another is this: these verses are meant to establish a general rule that wherever there is Vibhuti, it is Ishvara's Vibhuti. No one particular person has gained anything which he can legitimately claim as his own. Once it is Ishvara's Vibhuti, no person can become an object of your jealousy, because jealousy is possible only when he has achieved it and you have not. Now, if you look upon everything as Ishvara's glory, you will find that glory is that you'll find that glory in many forms. Every blade of grass is Ishvara's glory. The sun, moon, and stars are all Ishvara's glory. And if anybody is able to sing or dance or whatever, it is all Bhagavan's Vibhuti. In one place, an aspect of it manifests more and in another less. But it does not make any difference at all. It is all Ishvara's glory. And if I recognize his glory, I become Bhagavan's Vibhuti. Even the capacity to appreciate beauty is a glory of Ishvara. Many wonderful manifestations of Ishvara go unrecognized for want of people's capacity to appreciate. Unless you have that perceptive ability, you are not going to see something glorious. So, many great men go unrecognized and many a good book goes unread just because the author is not known. There are countless such things that are never recognized. Although some singers become popular, for every one of them, there are many more who are equally good or better, but never become known. I know one person at least who is so accomplished in playing the veena that she would have excelled over anybody, but she is not known. Only those in her home and those who are closely connected to her have the privilege of hearing her music. There are a number of people like this. Thus, wherever there is a manifestation of glory, it is Ishvara's glory. Sometimes it is known, sometimes not. So beautiful. So the reason why these are enumerated, vibhutis are there, one is so that you can meditate upon them. And the second is because when you recognize all these as Ishvara's glories, no one person can claim them as his achievement or her achievement. And when you recognize this as Ishvara's glory, there is no chance of you becoming jealous. So it ensures that you don't get into that negative spiral of jealousy, greed, and delusion. But some are known, some are not known. It does not mean that Ishvara's glory is not there. Wherever there is, every part and aspect of creation has Ishvara's glory, even a blade of grass. It is just that our capacity to recognize may not be sufficient. But even if we have the capacity to recognize, even that is Ishvara's glory. I'll just continue. I don't know how much more is there. This. Yeah, I think there is quite a lot. Maybe, yeah. Okay, it's 6:10 here. I think yeah, I think I will continue and complete this today. You can be jealous only if you can appreciate a glory. To discover the glory of a person, you require a certain capacity to appreciate. If you are able to become jealous of someone, it is only because you are able to perceive the glory of that person. Otherwise, how are you going to become jealous? That capacity to see is your glory. Where is the musician if there is no rasika, connoisseur? Someone who enjoys that music is necessary. When you know that all glory belongs to Ishvara, you can no longer be jealous. You can be jealous of an individual, but not Ishvara, because jealousy is only possible between similars, not dissimilars. You cannot be jealous of Ishvara any more than you can be jealous of an eagle because it soars so high. You may wish to fly like an eagle, that is possible, but you can never be jealous of the eagle because it is unlike you. Similarly, Ishvara does not belong to the human species. So, where is the question of you being jealous of Ishvara? This rule helps eliminate your jealousies, the friction in your personal relationships. Vibhuti Yoga is a very beautiful chapter to help you discover this attitude. If there is a person who is free from jealousy, that person is a saint, I tell you, because jealousy can appear in 100 different subtle forms. Even among sadhus, I see it. They are jealous of one another's popularity. In fact, I find the more popular you are, the more likelihood of your knowing less or knowing wrongly. In fact, I find the more popular you are, the more likelihood of your knowing less or knowing wrongly. It is difficult to be popular if you know profound things. Because when you talk, it is going to be profound, and that is not going to be popular. To be popular, you have to tell some stories, some jokes, and use some catchy expressions, even though they do not mean anything. You can be a gorilla and become popular. In Milwaukee, there was a popularity poll, and the winner was Samson, the gorilla in the local zoo. Sitting there quietly, he became popular. So, popularity is meaningless. This chapter, Vibhuti Yoga, you must read again and again. Wherever there is any brilliance, any skill, you should be able to appreciate it as Ishvara's glory. Any intelligent person should be able to do that. It does not require great knowledge to see that these capacities that we have are all given to us. Nothing is really created by anybody. Simple observation of your own life, of your own powers, will reveal that everything is given to you. The whole world is given. What is it that is created by you? If you have a power to create, to bring things together, that is also given. What is created by us is nothing. The more you see this, the more objective you will find your ego. And an objective ego is as good as non-existent, even if it is not enlightened. That is the devotee's ego, which is good enough to discover Atma. I will read this again. So when you observe your own life, of your own powers, will reveal that everything is given to you. The whole world is given. What is it that is created by you? If you have a power to create, to bring things together, that is also given. What is created by us is nothing. The more you see this, the more objective you will find your ego. And an objective ego is as good as non-existent, even if it is not enlightened. That is the devotee's ego, which is good enough to discover Atma. It becomes pure and can therefore discover Gudha Atma. So first step for a sadhak is to have this objective ego so that it is as good as non-existent. You may not be enlightened, but at least that is, it ensures that you have a pure antakarana and discovers that Gudha Atma. Even if such an appreciation of Ishvara's glories is incomplete in the beginning, afterwards it becomes real. If you keep bringing it to mind, even though you do not see it, it becomes real because it is a fact, not a superimposition. Even if you do not understand totally at first, later it becomes more and more clear. Though the profundity may not be very clear, that forced appreciation is good enough. As in friendship or love, suppose you are not able to discover love. If you can force yourself to say something nice, you will find yourself beginning to discover love. Any act of love will make you discover love. Similarly here, even though it is incomplete at first, it becomes real. Nothing can stop it because it has its basis in truth. So, as a devotee, you cannot be jealous of Ishvara. And if you understand Ishvara, it is all you. If you step out and see the whole Jagat as Ishvara, then you are that Ishvara because there is no Ishvara other than Satchid Ananda Atma. Therefore, it is all your glory alone. What about those things that are not recognized as glories? In answer to this, Bhagavan says, in fact, the entire Jagat is nothing but my glory and is still only 1/4 of my total glory. Padosya Vishwabhutani. Padosya Vishwabhutani. This is, I think, in the Vishnu Sahasranam. 3/4 is lost in your heart as Param Brahma. Tripadasyamritam Divi. 3/4 is lost in your heart as Param Brahma. Tripada. Tripada is 3/4. Asyamritam Divi. In the Chaitanya Atma, 3/4 is gone. All 14 worlds, 7 above and 7 below, are only 1/4. This is just an expression to say that the entire Jagat does not account for the infinite. Athava bahunaitena kim jnatena tavarjuna vishtabhyahamidam kritsnam ekamshena sthito jagat. Athava, on the other hand, bahuna etena jnatena, by the knowledge of manifold things, kim tavajuna, what is accomplished for you, Arjuna? Vishtabhya, pervading, idam kritsnam jagat, this entire world, ekam shena, with just one part of me, aham sthitaha, I remain. Athava, bahuna etena jnatena, kim tava Arjuna vishtabhya, idam kritsnam jagat, ekam shena aham sthitaha. On the other hand, by this knowledge of manifold things, what is accomplished for you, Arjuna? I mean, pervading this entire world with one, I remain pervading this entire world with one part of myself. Athava means, or let us put it this way. I said everything that has vibhuti is born of a fraction of my glory. Tejomsha sambhavam. From that you may conclude that only those things that have vibhuti are born of me and others are not. So, athava means to put it correctly. By this knowledge of manifold things, various things, bahuna etena jnatena, like among the trees I am the sacred ficus, among the rivers I am the Ganga. What is accomplished for you, Arjuna? Kim tava Arjuna? Not much is accomplished because my vibhuti is endless. It is therefore not possible for me to complete this list. Shankara says it is a knowledge which leaves a lot to be desired. Savasesena jnatena. Savasheshena jnatena. Since it is an incomplete knowledge of Ishvara's glory, what is accomplished? In fact, what Bhagavan wants to say is that you must understand just this one thing, that everything is Bhagavan. Bhagavan says, all of this is only a part of me. In fact, I remain pervading this entire world by only one part of myself. Aham idam kritsnam jagat ekam shena vishtabhya stitaha. I make it firm in the form of all these beings. I remain aham stitaha. Otherwise, how would all this exist? It is only mithya, requiring me, the upadana karana, to give reality to it. From your own standpoint, if you just look at this world, it is nothing more than the contents of your antahkarana. So what you know, what you see is only a limited jagat, whether subtle, sukshma prapancha, or physical, sthula prapancha. Whatever you see is only one part, amsha of yourself. 3/4 is lost in your buddhi. That is the truth of yourself, the limitless, the infinite. It is not literally 3/4, but an expression to indicate that this makes it complete. The 3/4 is that without, which this 1/4, the jagat, is incomplete. The 3/4 is that without, with this 1/4, the jagat is incomplete. Because this jagat is non-separate from Brahman, it is said to be 1/4 of that whole. Shankara quotes the mantra that expresses this. Padosya Vishwa Bhutani. His 1/4 is all this. All eyes are his eyes, etc. But still, 3/4 is beyond time and space. Tripadasyamritam divi. The source is lost in the sense that it is not available for your perception. Therefore, what you see is very little, Arjuna. What is really to be seen is the 3/4 that is infinite. If you see that 3/4, which makes it complete, you will find everything is infinite. Param Brahma. There is no part at all. Brahman is Niramsha, not subject to division. This apparent division is created for understanding. Om Tat Sat Srimad Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyaya Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Vibhuti Yogo Nama Dashamodhyayaha Atha Om Tat Sat. Thus ends the 10th chapter, that is called Vibhuti Yoga, which has as its topic the Vibhutis of Bhagavan in the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, which is likened to the Upanishads, whose subject matter is Brahma Vidya, which is also a Yoga Shastra, which is in the form of a dialogue between Sri Krishna and Arjuna. Om Tat Sat.
There's the part of me. I was wondering, we read it because it is complete, and then how come we be part of this only? And then the late, we are reading that was like 3/4 in somewhere here in your Buddhi and all that.
Correct.
See, sometimes when you don't read it
Your
completely.
voice is not very clear, Dr. Mala.
No, when you don't read it completely, you mistake the reading, what we are reading, like.
Exactly. So you need to read the whole to understand. You cannot read it in part.
Exactly.
You have to read it in the context.
And also, like, he didn't say that the fraction, he kind of explains it later on. But then initially when you read it, oh, what do you mean by fraction of Bhagavan? Like that.
He's only putting it as an expression to say that so much more is still not kind of recognized. What we see as the Jagat is only a fraction of his
yeah, it's all part of it. It's not recognized. So that's 3/4 of it. That's a lot.
I will just chant the Ekadashodhyaya first shloka. Om Atha Ekadashodhyaya Vishwarupa Sandarshana Yoga Arjuna Uvacha Madanugrahaya Paramam Guhyamadhyatma Sangitam Yatvayoktam Vachastena Mohoyam Vigato Mama. So I think we started from, what we'll do tomorrow is, I think we'll repeat these, the last few verses maybe from 38 onwards.
Yeah, Dhanyavad Brahmaraji. I have some questions also.
Yeah. We'll do this because today I went on to read because it was like close to the end. But tomorrow we'll repeat this and we still have time. I would suggest that maybe we chant all the verses, verse plus the meaning, verse and meaning, so that then we have a gist of the whole vibhuti.
But we want to finish that 6th chapter. There's only one sloka left.
I know that thing, 6th
We
chapter
should
is
finish that first tomorrow and then do the 10th chapter. That way we are done with 6th and then 10th. You mentioned something about Bhagavat Puranam or something you're going to do after this.
Yeah, I think what we'll do after this is we'll go to Nana's videos. There are those 11 videos. Maybe we'll do that. And then we'll do the Bhagavat Saptah. We'll do that before we go to the Vishwarupa Sandarshana Yoga.
Okay. So tomorrow we'll do the 6th.
We have just about 2 minutes left. So maybe we will just chant what verses we did till now with the meaning, and then we'll close for today. We'll do the Manana tomorrow. Vrishninam Vasudevosmi Pandavanam Dhananjayaha Muninamapyaha Vyasaha Kavinamushana Kavihi. Among the Yadavas, I am Vasudeva, Krishna. Among the Pandavas, Dhananjaya, Arjuna, and among the seers, I am Vyasa. Among the sages, the preceptor, Ushana. Dando Damayatam Nitirasmi Jigishatam Maunam Chaivasmi Guhyanam Jnanam Jnanavatamaham. I am the discipline of those who enforce discipline. I am justice of those who want success. And I am silence among secrets. Of those who have knowledge, I am that knowledge. Yacchapi sarvabhutanam bijam tadaham arjuna na tadasti vinayasyan maya bhutam characharam. And Arjuna, I am also that which is the cause of all things. There is no mobile or immobile, sentient or insentient thing which can exist without me. Nantosti mama divyana vibhutinam parantapa esha tuddeshatah proktah vibhutervistaro maya. There is no end to my extraordinary glories, Arjuna, but this detailed narration was told by me, taking into account a few important ones. Yadyad vibhutimat sattvam Shrimadurjitameva va tattadevavagachatvam mama tejomsha sambhavam. Whatever existent thing there is which has glory, which is endowed with any form of wealth, or that which is distinguished or mighty, every one of that, may you know, is born of a fraction of my glory. Athava bahunaitena kim jnatena tavarjuna vishtabhyahamidam kritsnam ekam shena stito jagat. On the other hand, by this knowledge of manifold things, what is accomplished for you, Arjuna? I remain pervading this entire world with one part myself. Om Tat Sat. I think we'll stop here today. And we'll do a repeat of these last few shlokas tomorrow. And we'll do the Manana tomorrow. Let's just revel. Maybe as a takeaway today, if we can just recognize this one thing, be in wonder of all that we see as part of as creation, and recognize any glory that we see outside of us or inside of us, wherever, as Bhagavan's glory. If we can bring ourselves to come to that, have that objective ego, have that devotee's ego, that will be great. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat Shri Krishnarpanamastu. Jai Gurudev.